British High Court shields arms exports to Israel despite mounting evidence of genocide in Gaza. Who's really fueling the war? London. In a ruling that has sent shockwaves through the international legal and humanitarian communities, the UK High Court has refused to hear a judicial review brought by Palestinian human rights organization Al-Haq, effectively allowing the United Kingdom to continue its indirect supply of F-35 fighter jet components to Israel. The judgment, handed down by Lord Justice Males and Justice Stein, signals a troubling precedent, one where legal technicalities override moral responsibility in the face of mass civilian slaughter. At the heart of the case lies what is known as the F-35 carve-out, a UK policy exception that permits continued participation in the multinational F-35 aircraft program, even though some other arms export licenses to Israel have been suspended. While government officials have claimed that the UK cannot trace F-35 parts directly to Israel due to the program's global nature, the logic is cold comfort to the more than 56,000 Palestinians killed since October 2023, many by airstrikes involving F-35 jets. This is not neutrality. This is not distance. This is complicity. Legal gymnastics versus genocide. Backed by human rights titans like Amnesty International UK, Oxfam, and Human Rights Watch, Al-Haq argued that the carve-out violates international humanitarian law, including the Geneva Conventions, the Arms Trade Treaty, and the Genocide Convention. Their submission was clear. Continued UK involvement in the F-35 program exposes the government to the charge of aiding and abetting war crimes. Yet, the judges refused to even entertain the substance of these claims. Instead, they concluded that such matters fall under the purview of international institutions like the International Court of Justice, ICJ, or the International Criminal Court, ICC, and not British courts. But herein lies the bitter irony. While British judges claim they cannot interfere, Britain's participation in war machinery that sustains the Israeli military rolls on, shielded by judicial abstention and political obfuscation. If a court cannot review whether genocide is being enabled through state action, what justice does that court serve? A government aware, and still unmoved. Perhaps most damning is the fact that UK government officials themselves have raised red flags about Israeli conduct in Gaza. In July 2024, an internal government reassessment found that Israel was no longer committed to upholding international humanitarian law, IHL. Then Foreign Secretary David Lammy warned that there was a clear risk that military equipment exported to Israel might be used to commit or facilitate serious violations of IHL. And yet, instead of acting decisively, the UK opted to stay the course. By hiding behind bureaucratic language and a conveniently vague global supply chain, the UK has allowed itself plausible deniability while enabling the very tools used to bomb schools, hospitals, and entire residential blocks. This isn't just about Britain. The same complicity flows from the United States, whose unconditional arms support and political shielding have emboldened Israel to defy international calls for ceasefire and accountability. Together, the UK, USA, and other European powers have not merely stood by as Gaza burned. They have helped light the match. The livestream genocide, the West refuses to see. Al-Haq described what is happening in Gaza as a live-stream genocide. And the world has seen it unfold in real time. Mass graves, white phosphorus, entire families wiped out, and the starvation of a besieged civilian population. Despite this, the UK court refused to even acknowledge whether the carve-out violates the UK's obligation to prevent genocide under international law. Instead, it deferred responsibility to diplomatic channels and foreign courts, quietly washing its hands of the matter. So we must ask, if international law cannot be enforced domestically, who holds powerful states accountable? When arms deals outrank ethics, who speaks for the dead? The verdict of history will be harsher. Britain's refusal to reconsider its role in arming Israel echoes a dangerous historical trend, one in which powerful nations act above the law, then later express regret when the full human toll becomes undeniable. In 30 years, museums will feature the rubble of Gaza. Names will be etched into black marble. And official apologies may be issued much too late. But today the bombs still fall, paid for and supplied by civilized nations that claim to champion democracy and human rights. Free Palestine, and hold the enablers accountable. This is not just Israel's war. This is also Britain's war, America's war, Europe's war, made possible by silence, steel, and strategy. If British courts will not hear the cries of Gaza, then let the streets speak louder. Let the people declare what the judges would not. Enabling genocide is itself a crime. Free Palestine, not as a slogan but as an obligation.